Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be a live trade video where I try to capture some of my trades as they play out live. First off, a couple quick clarifications. Number one, I am trading futures. If you don't know what futures are, I'll put a link down below to a totally free 4-part series that'll walk through the futures market and how it all works. And there's all sorts of good things to like about the futures market. No pattern day trade rule. Market's open 23 hours a day, 6 days a week. Futures move way better than penny stocks and options and small caps and all that sort of stuff. There's just a lot to love about it. And then second, I am trading futures through a prop firm. What is a prop firm? How does a prop firm work? Which prop firm am I using? All that can be found at that link up above. In a nutshell, though, a prop firm is a way for you to risk very little of your own money, but then you have a whole lot of upside potential. And that's, again, one of those things where when you take the futures market and all that it has to offer and combine it with just the functionality of a prop firm, well, there's a lot of good things going on. So I will pause the screen recording software for now, and I will hopefully capture a trade here. But like I said, I'll pause it for now, and I'll get things rolling when I do find a setup. I'm going to look to get long there, opening allotment. Out there, very nicely. Did I say very nicely? Very nice, I meant to say. So $300. And that one started small in case I wanted to potentially get a little bit more. Now I'm wondering, is this maybe a short? Like I said, first one was just playing the trend line bounce. I got the bounce for the quick scalp, but now is this going to turn into a short? Little nervous to short down here right now. Seems like more of a chase than anything at this point. But yeah, and I'm very glad I did not short down there because this, ouch. Oh, that'd be painful. Again, if you're new, shorting means you want prices to go down. So as the price heads all the way back up here, yeah, that is very painful to watch. Imagining, had I been short. All right, I'll go ahead and pause, and we'll see if I can find something else. All right, now as it comes down here, second time I am short. There we go. Took another trade on it. Now up 555. So bouncing as it came back down, I gained more confidence on the short side of things. But yeah, just doing some very small scalps. But again, futures, very quote unquote small scalps. I mean, pretty crazy how, it's 9:32. So I've really gotten interested in trading, and 9:30 I consider the quote unquote the open, because that's when the New York Stock Exchange opens, which is when the futures market picks up and gets more volatile. So since that quote unquote open, it's only been 2 minutes. I'm up, there's over 500. So that's what I mean. Things add up. Maybe that's what I'll title the video. Things add up quickly in futures, because a couple very anticlimactic trades I would consider smaller position size, and yet up over 500 already. Well, let's see if I can find some more. All right, I'm gonna try a short here, but I'm doing a different type of contract. So if I'm right, the gains are not going to add up as quick. But more importantly, right now, I want to protect these gains. So if I'm wrong, most importantly, my risk is very different now at this point. So that's the nice thing about futures. You can still trade the same exact setups, but just in quote unquote less risky ways, because you can change contract type. So the contracts are still for the same exact chart, but because the way the contracts work, which is besides the point, like you don't, I guess if you want, you can geek out and get into the math, but for practical purposes, you just need to know that the contracts move differently. They're just not as volatile in terms of, how the P&L adds up. So looking to get short at the red line there if it wants to come back down. Yeah. And want to see it. All right, never mind. Cancel that out. I'm back to the drawing board here. Try up here now. Look to get short at the red line. Only if it comes back down though. Close, close, close. I'm in. And out there for just a little scalp. Now, of course, in hindsight, I wish I would have went larger, or I wish I would have done the other contract type because that would have added up that much more. But that is hindsight. But like I said, had I done the other contract, I think I made about $50. I would have made quite a bit more than that. But like I said, at this point, just trying to manage my risk. All right, I'll go ahead and pause. All right, I'm thinking of one more potential trade here. Look to get long at that green line there. Can just starting small to give myself a little flexibility if needed. Not sure if it's going to drop down that far or not. Try to give it a chance. All right, I'll pause. Gonna come down. Let's do this instead. Let me go to the lesson. That way I can just try to do a little building if need be. So I'll buy some there, buy some there, buy some right there. And I'll buy some right there too. Again, these are just the smaller type of contracts. Oh, come on. Fill me. Okay, I got those ones. Those ones. All right, so those are out, and I'll leave these ones down here in case it does want to drop back down, but now you can see those numbers right there. I don't remember what that number was at beforehand, but well, now it bounces back up, so never mind on that. I don't know, maybe a short. I'm going to get that alerted to my private community real quick. That screenshotted. Okay. Two-minute point trend line. There you go. If you're not aware, I do offer private community, so right there, got that trend line alerted. You never know, so just throwing it out there as a question, and then people, it'll be up to them to decide if they agree, disagree. Maybe, who knows, maybe somebody's like, no, I like that as a long. More power to them. Gotta always appreciate an independent thinker, but like I said, I'll throw the setup, and if people want to, they can make up their own minds if they like it or not. All right, we'll see if it comes down. I'll go ahead and pause for now, though. Well, I'm going to go ahead and call it good. So overall, like I said, nothing fancy, just some quick trades. And like I said at the beginning, or towards the beginning, I think that's what the title of this video is. Things add up quick in futures or something like that. But that is all I have. I'm going to move on with my day. And you can see right there. Nice solid morning. I'll go ahead and pause. Or, like I said, that's what happens when I'm trying to read an email and talk to you at the same time. Not going to go ahead and pause, but I'm calling it good. Before I do go, though, I want to quickly invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering. So if you are a new trader or somebody that's struggling, then I'm very confident you're going to find some good pieces of information from this class. Now, if you're a battle-hardened veteran with a rock-solid strategy, I mean, you're welcome to attend, don't get me wrong, but I'm not quite sure you're going to really get anything from this. But like I said, if you are struggling or new, then definitely get signed up for it. Go to claytrader.com/live, or just check out the link down in the description area, and that'll give you the details of when the next live class actually is. So thanks for hanging out. As always, make sure you hit that like button, and be sure to swing by the live stream. I start every day at 11 a.m. Eastern, then I go for a few hours. So make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so that you can be reminded of when I do go live. So everybody, thanks for watching. Take care and have a good one.